Alright, now that you have an accurate visual representation of what my high school was, let's just jump into it. Do you ever have those teachers that want to help you learn and feel like you came out of that class smarter? No? Congrats, you're in my boat. I came from a small town school. A very small town school. Our average IQ was literally smaller than my graduating class. We were rated one of the lowest scoring schools on the PSAT and the SAT in our surrounding area. I think maybe one or two schools out of like the 25 in the area did worse than we did. I could go on for hours about how our school manipulated the curriculum, so I only took one real history class, how our math department was basically two teachers, one for the smart kids and one for the dumb kids. And if you were an average student like me in that subject, well, too bad, because you were probably put in the class below your level. And our science department was probably our strongest department, which wasn't a very hard thing to do. But today, I want to talk to you about one subject in particular: English. Our English department had 4 teachers, one for each grade, and the freshman teacher doubled as the speech teacher. Our program was more literacy than writing based, but it should have been more inclusive. Freshman year was easy. It was breezy. It was beautiful. It was honestly not memorable. All I remember is that my teacher was obsessed with the Holocaust. Literally obsessed. My teacher had this huge barrel in the corner of her room full of buttons, and apparently each button represented a person who was held in the concentration camps during World War II. If she found anyone touching her buttons, they were immediately given detention. All we learned in that first semester of class was about the Holocaust, and honestly, it was a freshman year War and Peace class. Wait, you're telling me that your seniors didn't have a class elective called War and Peace, where you learned exclusively about World War II for a whole year? Anyways, second semester rolls around and we have our first essay. Do I remember any of it? No. Only that it had to be 5 paragraphs or you were deducted points. And I, not to flex or anything, got an A. Sophomore year hits and I'm feeling confident about my writing. Do I know anything about writing? No! But I know I'm meant to be an author one day because I'm that good. I am the next Shakespeare. I am the next Ernest Hemingway. Stephen King? Don't know her. Watch out, John Green. I'm coming for your brand. My teacher sophomore year was a blessing. A goddess. Just the purest person to walk the earth. And she assigned us a creative writing essay as a way to see how skilled we were as writers. I was ready. I worked my butt off for a whole night, working on the most creative story that was ever written. Everything I wrote was flawless. There would be 0 marks on it. She would show it off to every class as an example of what to do, because it was that good. She would even ask me if she could keep it to show future writers what to do, to be so amazing at creative writing. I got a D on that assignment. All of my sentences had grammatical errors. My formatting was wrong. You couldn't go 5 words without seeing red correction marks. It was horrendous. That paper crushed my dreams as a writer, but honestly, there was a splash of a career choice in the possibility pool of what I wanted to do. My sophomore year teacher actually showed me a lot of good techniques when it came to writing. She is the reason I worked so hard in that class. I didn't want to disappoint her with my papers again. She shaped my grammar into something actually legible. I couldn't thank her enough. Then, junior year hits. I decided I would take honors English. Sophomore year gave me a great baseline for writing, so I thought this would help me improve if I challenged myself a little bit. It would also look great for colleges, too, if they saw I took honors. There was supposed to be 2 differences between honors and regular English: the speed and the essay length. Honors was supposed to pick up concepts faster than regular English, so you'd think we'd be learning things at high speeds, being the smart kids we were. This teacher was so lazy, he would only plan weeks ahead, so we were lucky if we were a month faster than regular English. Let's talk about this teacher. We'll call him Mr. Pancreas, for his lack of a functioning one. Don't worry, he made jokes daily about it, so it's cool. Pancreas was by far the laziest person I've ever met. How he became a teacher amazes me because he and we would do literally nothing in his class. We would start by him coming in 10 minutes late because he gave us his keys to the classroom to unlock it for ourselves. Then we would spend the next 10 minutes talking to ourselves while he had a full conversation with some of the other students. We would then finally get around to reading whatever book or play we were reading in that unit, get the homework for the night, then have the last 10 minutes to talk more. Look at this pie chart. We had a 50-minute class, and you, sir, were gone for the first 10. We talked for another 10, and then gave us the last 10 minutes to just talk some more. That gives us 20 minutes to do actual work. This is not good. This is not okay. This is 40%. That is a failing grade if I have ever seen one. Pancreas was required to assign us a persuasive essay by the end of this year. It was required for us to graduate. If we did not do this essay, we would not get a diploma by the end of our senior year. He assigned it to us in January, and our 6-page paper was due by the end of February. We learned nothing when it came to actual composition, but we could tell you how much of a homewrecker Abigail Adams was and what all of the symbolism could be represented by Daisy Buchanan's curtains. Pancreas told us to just write a 5-paragraph essay to persuade our argument, and if we needed more than 5 paragraphs, then cool, no worries. No points would be deducted. When it came to our rough draft, he had us peer review. So, us 17-year-olds who kind of knew what was right and wrong about grammar fixed other 17-year-olds' papers who also didn't really know what they were doing. Smart choice. Once we had submitted our final drafts to him, he told us straight up that it would take a while. I mean, he had at least 90 students, so that's understandable. But this man took the rest of the semester to grade them. We literally did not get our grades for this essay until a week before finals. We turned them in February. Finals are in May. Remember the chart I gave you about his laziness? Well, you'd think he'd take all that free time he gave everyone to grade essays, right? Wrong. This man would instead complain about how much work he had to do instead of doing the work he had to do. Maybe that's the one thing I learned in junior year English. Senior year was a lot different than my past 3 years. My teacher actually cared. She wanted effort. She wanted content. She wanted to see what we learned. I loved her. She wanted to help us in any way she could, but wouldn't put up with any form of laziness. She was strict, but it was good for us. I remember going to her multiple times after class, asking her to help on our biggest research essay. And not once did her smile falter or deny her help of any kind. I didn't learn much when it came to writing in her class. She was really into classic English literature, but she did teach us one thing: contradicting paragraphs in an essay. The fact you could go against your own argument in your essay shook me. All of my previous teachers drilled it into our brains that you had to be right and only your opinion mattered. My senior year teacher, we'll call her Miss Baby, showed us that adding opposing ideas could strengthen our argument in a positive way. She also taught us how to make a proper thesis statement and how we could shape it to flow better with our opening statement. Miss Baby cared for each student and wanted to help them succeed. I could go on and on about my high school experience and how it did not help me prepare for college, but there were some good things about my school. One-on-one experience was easily attainable for any student. If you needed revisions or help on an assignment, you didn't need to go to the teacher who assigned it. Any teacher in the English department would lend a hand if they were able to. In a small school, us students were closer to each other than ever before. We were there for each other to help give our opinions, help with assignments, or just complain about the work we had to do. High school was the worst for us, but we suffered together. Okay, y'all, thanks so much for watching. If you would please leave a like and subscribe down below. I make new videos every other week. So if you would hit that notification bell so you get reminders on when I post, that would be wonderful. I'm Onion Powder, and I'll see you in the next video.